right, ladies and gentlemen, this is Half Baked Sports coming at you. We got Josh, we got Chuck, we got John. Let's get it.
All right, so I guess first and foremost, Texans' future is that the first topic?
That's the first topic, and probably gonna be a brief topic.
Do they even have a future at this
They
point?
don't have a future this season.
They didn't really have a future at the beginning of the season, and I think right now with what we saw last night, last night, that just solidified that there is no future.
I'll say this here, and I said this to my cousin yesterday when we were watching the game. The Texans defense, you see two names that you recognize, that I recognize. That's Merciless and Reed. The rest of these people on this team, I have no idea who you are. I saw some good plays. I saw a lot of bad plays. Reed and Merciless, you can only do so much. Merciless, you really made a lot of tackles. Well, I ain't going to say a lot of tackles. You made some good tackles. The defensive end that was moving all over the place, I think his name was 94, that forced the fumble. That was a pretty good play, but you forced the fumble, but they recovered it, and then they scored a first down afterwards. The game was close early, but then the second quarter, you can tell that defense had been on that field too long. The offense was not moving the ball. David Davis Mills, I think that's his name.
Yep.
I'm sorry. You got some good things going, but he's not ready.
He's
not
even
ready.
My only problem is that he's not even a high-level draft pick. They threw him into the Wolves right away.
Yeah.
Obviously, because Tyrod went down. I like what I saw out of Tyrod. I mean, he's a journeyman QB. He's been around the league for, about a decade right now?
About 9 years?
About a decade. So, I mean... And he didn't stink at every place. He just got outplayed by certain players at every place he's been.
And he got hurt.
I keep forgetting about the
game.
injuries.
Yeah.
But when you take a look at this team, I mean, talk about rebuild. And I know that they have sparks of life that give you hope. I mean, after all, we called that upset against Jacksonville, and which really... That was an upset if you want to get technical.
That one, I didn't call it an upset. Cleveland would have been an upset.
Cleveland
would have stayed in the game because they kept it together.
I think that if Tyrod would have been healthy and stayed in the game,
that
I think
would
they
have
could
been an
have.
upset.
I think so.
But the Jacksonville game, I expected what I saw out of Trevor Lawrence, and I expected what I saw out of Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
It was a battle of the QBs. It really was.
And here is the rest of the schedule for the Houston Texans.
Don't make me cry, dude.
I know. So we just completed week 3, right? Week 4 starts at Buffalo.
Loss.
Home. We host New England.
Loss.
We think we go to Indianapolis.
Maybe.
I think that's a possible.
Well, no, I'll go back to New England. We host New England, or we at New
It's
England?
here.
It's here.
Okay, that's a possible win.
No.
Because you have two rookie quarterbacks.
No.
But what Chuck and Josh would say is the coaching is bad on the Texans. It's not bad on the Patriots. So that's why they're giving them.
It coming down to.
I would say it evens out with the home field advantage.
Maybe, but with the coaching mistakes that we constantly see, I'm not optimistic.
Yeah.
All right, so at Indy, at Arizona,
Loss.
Then we host the Rams.
Loss.
At Miami.
Maybe.
Loss.
And then you have your bye week, week 10.
Win. Let's go.
Rest.
That's the win. That's the win. They're gonna need that rest. They're gonna need
because they're
that
not
rest.
losing.
Because they're not losing the game, and they're gonna get everybody rested and healthy. I hope.
When they come back from the bye, they have at Tennessee,
Loss.
host the Jets,
Maybe.
win.
That's a win. I'll give them a win on that one.
Host Indianapolis,
Maybe.
host Seattle,
Loss.
at Jacksonville,
Win.
host the Chargers.
Loss.
Hey, are we going to go to that game?
Herbert, yeah, that's the one we should go to. The
I
Chargers. Herbert is playing awesome. I'm sorry.
Really good.
Really good. I don't see the Texans being able to even just keep them guys in front of them. I'm serious. I don't. With the defensive scheme they're running, the Texans are. That's why I keep saying loss.
And
I'm looking at the teams they're going up against, and
they're good. Yeah,
they're good. Their offense is good, but you running a zone defense the whole game. You never switch it up to man.
And if they're playing that stupid zone defense against the Chargers,
if they playing against
Hubert's going to pick them apart.
If they playing against the Patriots, Mac Jones going to pick them apart.
Anyway, and then your last 2 games for Houston is at San Francisco, and then you host the Tennessee Titans. Honestly,
maybe I said this preseason, maybe 4 games, maybe 4 games.
So yeah,
I want the team to win. Don't get me wrong. I'm still a Texan fan, but come on, be realistic about it.
I think they can beat Indy because Indy doesn't have a QB at this point.
I thought they don't have Wendy.
No, Carson Wentz went down with both. He had both
ankles.
Both ankles.
He sprained both ankles in one game.
They don't have him.
Well, we could kind of go over some of our picks from last week.
Well, let's go with it.
All right.
Yep.
So obviously, one of the things that we were discussing was the Chargers 3.5, right? And obviously, I went on record. I liked, as much as I didn't like 3.5. I never liked 3.5. If it's not 2.5, then don't take it, because you need a field goal. You need to get the touchdown in order to cover 3.5.
Yeah.
But I even said I liked Dallas in that game. If you remember, right?
And they did it.
They did it, right? I know it wasn't pretty, and honestly, when you take a look at it, it looks more of a they lost. You know, where Chargers lost that game due to turnovers.
Yeah.
Yep.
More than Dallas
Dallas
won.
beat them.
And I'm going to go on credit, even though I won my pick, and I was surprised by it, because after watching some of that game, that definitely shouldn't have gone that way. But the upset, I think, Raiders over Pittsburgh.
Oh, geez.
I mean,
I don't think that was an upset.
No upset?
I don't think
that was
it
an
wasn't an
upset.
upset, because the the Steelers lost that appeal that they used to have. Like,
Nobody
this is
fears them anymore.
Yeah, nobody. They don't
But
have that
see,
fear factor
if you
anymore.
take a look at their defense, I mean, don't get me wrong. You know, T.J. Watt, he's
Out. He left the game.
He left the game, but
Once he
he-
left the game, it was a wrap.
But
The defense was-
he is a solid player, but he's he's not his brother,
Right.
And if you take
I
a look
think he- I- be
outside
honest
of
with you, I think he's better
him,
than his brother.
outside of TJ, who else is there?
That's exactly what I said.
Fitzpatrick,
Minka Fitzpatrick.
in the
Fitzpatrick.
secondary.
I'll give you that, right?
And who else? Devin Bush, but I think he's hurt
But
too.
my point is, you don't have a lot of marquee names on the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now,
No.
do they still have a solid defense? Definitely.
Yes.
But they don't have the playmakers that they used to have.
And they lost their main playmaker.
They're no longer the fear factor that they once were.
And that's
Yeah,
the
that's
thing.
what I'm saying.
Nobody
Like,
fears
I
the
don't-
Pittsburgh. You go back to the 70s and early 80s. Everybody feared going into Pittsburgh to play.
Yeah.
Everybody feared it. Now, it's just Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
You know.
But I love that. You know, if you take a look at Derek Carr, he looked great.
Yes.
I don't know if it's because the weapons in him are finally clicking. You know, the receivers. My dogs are locked outside, so they're saying hi. Thank you for not knocking anything over, you little shit. Oh, sorry.
At the end of the day, Derek Carr outplayed Ben Roethlisberger.
Well, see, and this is the thing. Ben Roethlisberger, and it's never a quarterback versus quarterback. He exposed their defense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with Ben.
But
Ben,
the Raiders'
and
defense ain't that solid, though.
Hey, that brings us to a question. Did you guys see the injury? Because, I mean, I didn't even see him go down. Apparently, he cracked a rib or something.
You talking about Ben Roethlisberger?
Big Ben. He's out. He's out. Or is that
I think
He tore a pectoral
Pectoral, that's what it
muscle.
was.
Pectoral muscle.
And the pectoral muscle is usually getting hit while you're throwing the ball.
Yeah.
You know, or you move your arm.
Well, then I think that
tackle
happened
somebody.
during practice.
Yeah, they showed it.
Yeah.
He was coming out of the pocket. He was trying to go forward,
And as he was throwing,
he got hit and twisted and all that good
Well,
stuff.
So another upset that I was wrong on, because I took Pittsburgh at home. They're hard to beat at home. Is the Tennessee at Seattle, who also won, nail biter, last minute kick to the field goal.
Yep.
and I'll say this again.
High scoring game too. I mean,
I'll
I didn't
say this
expect that
again.
coming either.
Well, both
De-
defenses are beat up.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah,
They're not
true,
stellar
true.
defenses.
And
so.
Seattle in the second half got a heavy dose of Derrick Henry.
Right.
Yep.
Like I said, y'all held him in the first half.
And you
35
called that.
yards.
Their key was to get Henry going.
If you stop Henry, you can beat them. They couldn't stop him in the second half. And Henry ran 145, 149. I mean, come on.
A game that did go as expected, although I expected probably a little bit more of a point difference. Atlanta at Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
Because I think, but see, going back to what I say, a lot of times you give up those garbage points because they don't mean anything.
Well, the thing.
And I think I'm seeing that more and more out of Tampa Bay. I think this is the problem that I'm going to see with Tampa Bay. Their defense played lights out last year.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen them kind of take a little bit of a step back. Now, don't get me wrong. Brady's going to keep him in it. Brady's probably going to get those wins because he's always going to keep them close.
Yeah.
Right.
But these point spreads, be careful, because the only people that pay attention to point spreads are bookies and bettors.
Right.
That head coach is going to say, "Fuck it, a win's a win."
Yep. You gonna tell you
And
how you get it.
the reason why that game was close is because Todd Bowles' defense kept blitzing at the wrong time. Like, I could see you blitzing if it's hitting home, but they weren't hitting home.
They weren't even getting there.
They were getting picked up. So then, guess
Well,
what?
and plus
You
a
have
lot of those
open-
points were late too.
Right.
So it was almost once again. So you're almost going to a prevent, and yeah, maybe it was mistiming, but they had the lead. They had a huge lead, so it really didn't matter.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I want my defense to be like, let's say top 5 or top 10, I'm not gonna sit here and blitz unnecessarily.
Oh, I agree.
I was surprised,
especially since obviously whatever they were doing in the first half was working. My thing is I hate when coaches make big changes,
right?
And that's what it seems like it happened. They made big changes and they were basically the wrong call.
But I go with this here, like, okay, like what Chuck was saying and what you're saying is like, to me, is you took your foot off the gas.
Yeah.
Well, no, I think because if you think about it, it's almost the other way. He was going even faster, right, with the blitzes.
Oh,
right.
okay.
So it was almost like a reverse.
Toward the end of the
I
game.
get it's kind of like the same analogy but different.
Right. But
they should have backed up and said, okay, we're going to pass the ball. They got to pass, so let's go into coverage instead of
exact. I think that's what they should have done.
Well,
maybe did like one or two. Not maybe blitz like one every 4 downs.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Because in the beginning he was blitzing. Like you were saying, every other down he's blitzing.
Yeah.
But what happened was the blitzes were hitting, and Matt Ryan was getting hit. That's why they were down.
So he was timing the running players and the passing players.
What happened was the Falcons' offense adjusted. I know a blitz is coming.
Yep.
They picked it up.
So
Boom,
obviously he didn't. So what the
middle.
problem is then is that he didn't disguise it properly enough.
Because you knew it was coming.
So would you say Bruce Arians' defense was flawed a little bit toward the end?
You mean Todd Bowles?
The thing was is so if you're blitzing as much as they were in the first half, so those linebackers, those safeties get tired. So with Devin White and Devontae, I forgot his last
Adams.
name. No, the linebacker, the two star linebackers they have on Tampa. You're getting tired because they were getting back there.
Yeah.
It was just a broken tackle or a half tackle. Like he'll get him. Like he'll grab his waist, but like he only has that one hand on him.
I got you.
Instead of like before, he was just hitting them. So once you saw your linebackers doing that, just stop blitzing. Like, all right, just fake like you're blitzing.
Put them off the field. Put your seconds in there for a minute.
Well, no, I wouldn't do that.
No,
I'm saying let them get their win.
Yeah.
Put them in there for like a couple plays. Let them get their win. Then put
because
them
the
back
tight end, the rookie tight end was.
That's what you get your win when the offense is on the field.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, the offense scores so fast.
So obviously, I expected. I mean, surprisingly, they still covered the point spread.
Yeah.
So Tampa Bay, I mean, it didn't matter. Another one that kind of was definitely an upset for me. New Orleans at Carolina. No one expected Carolina to win that one.
Oh, Chuck called that.
Oh, that's right.
He ain't gonna let us live that one down.
Yes, I did.
He was the lone wolf on that one.
And I say this, and everybody say no, you're wrong. I saw the real Jameis Winston. I saw the old Tampa Bay Jameis Winston in that game.
Yeah,
he
did.
He didn't throw touchdowns, not because he threw interceptions. It's his decision making was just like it was 3 years ago.
Well, the line didn't hold up for him in that game because
the line never held up with him.
Well, that's because Carolina's defense is good.
Yeah, because Carolina has the top 5 defense.
But
so they weren't expecting Carolina's defense to their Carolina defense came with it.
Oh yeah.
And so he had to make a quick decision. So he made his quick decision.
And I said but that's what I just said. His decision making now is the same as his decision making when he was in Tampa Bay.
I'm gonna say, look,
you need to back up a little bit and just slow yourself down.
It's just like with anything. When you start having that first game went his way,
right?
Okay? Went all his way.
It went all his way, and of course, no matter what they did for Green Bay, they couldn't adjust to get him. So now he had adversity. This is, I think, going from what a lot of people say, and I agree with, you learn more from your adversity and your failures than you do from your successes.
Yes.
So I'm hoping by having this kind of a game early, it gives them a chance to make the right adjustments moving forward.
And like I said, I'm not saying anything ill will about him. I'm saying his behavior is still the same.
Well, the thing is he never had a quick release. Even in college, he doesn't have like a 2 second quick release. He's a deep ball person, so I'm holding on to the ball longer than normal.
We're definitely going to find out what's going on because they're going to New England, and Belichick's going to be prepared for him.
He's going to make him hold the ball.
So and if they do make it, to where they have to run the ball more, then we'll see. But I'm definitely intrigued on seeing how he bounces back, and that's a true test to see how he's adjusted as a player and what we can expect from Jameis moving forward.
Well, like they said in the preseason, Jameson won that battle, that so-called battle. Even though I don't think it was a battle. Jameson won.
No, it was because if you
Tyson
take
Hill,
if you
the
take
first game,
yeah,
Taysom Hill played and Jameis Winston played even. The last 2 games of preseason, Jameis Winston by far ran away with it.
There was no doubt.
He earned a spot.
There was no doubt in anybody's mind about who was starting for the New Orleans. Now, one thing I do want to point out is that with you have more of a chance with Jameis
than you do
than you would Taysom.
Yeah.
And I think everybody knows it. The other thing I wanted to point out as far as that game one is, yeah, everything went his way, but that was because the defense didn't expect it. I mean, if you take a look, it was almost like, they were playing zone. He was picking them apart. They were playing man, and yeah, he didn't turn it over. But I think what ended up happening and what helped them is that they did a good balance of run and those screen passes.
Yes.
Now when you do that successfully, it's hard to pin what you're going to do because now you have to treat the run and the pass game equally because you're worried about that screen pass.
Which one is going to be?
And so yeah, I think Green Bay was surprised. But didn't take a look.
It didn't hurt that Aaron Rodgers played like shit. I'm sorry.
True.
It didn't hurt that helped him a lot.
Yeah, he didn't have to worry about being far behind or
nope. Once they got a lead, man, it was just all downhill. I mean, so then you go into Carolina with a top 5 defense, and yes, you're right, they have a top 5 defense.
Yep.
They got hit in the mouth.
Yep.
And I don't think that they were prepared for that.
I don't think so either.
But we'll find out what New Orleans is made out of next week or this weekend when they play New England.
And that's what I want to see. I'm not gonna lie to you. I want to see what Belichick serves up, and I want to see how Winston and company adjust to that.
And then, of course, the last one on my list that I wanted to cover from last week, just real quick, was the Detroit at Green Bay. Remember, a lot of points. Started off with 13, and it ended at like 11.5. Now, surprisingly enough, this is the sickening part. Detroit was in that game all for the first half. Matter of fact, they got that field goal late, went up 17-14. But then that's it. Detroit didn't score again and lost by just over 11 points.
Yep. And Chuck with his conspiracy said they had to get that game.
They had to give it to.
They had to give it to Aaron.
Yeah, they had to.
Aaron can't lose at home.
No,
is that what it is?
They had to.
They had to give him that game.
But that's our recap. Do you guys want to take a quick break? Come back.
Yeah, we're gonna take a break and come back and do another one. For
and we are so 2 not together. Look on the thing. There'll be another full video. We're going to cover this week's schedule.
And it's a doozy for you guys.
All right. We're out.
Now I need my chicken. Before they come snatch it off the table. I was worried about them grabbing this off the table. John was like, no!
Yeah, one of them did grab a piece of pizza.
Oh, today?
No.
Oh.